All right, hi guys. My name is Newmore, and honestly, y'all, I just want to discuss love. I don't know why I feel the need to, I guess, like get this off my chest, but I guess maybe to find I guess others who maybe think like me or just have some light to shed on my personal experience. Maybe I just want to have a life partner. I just want to know what it's like to have that person. I've just never really had the chance to fully experience that. I've gone through my fair share of situationships and you know, I guess we just say hookup culture. And honestly, for a long time, I feel like that's all I thought I was good for was just hookup culture in a sense because I feel like when people saw me, they didn't see someone that they could take seriously or see someone that they could be with in the long term. I always felt like it was more so like it was something, I don't know, like I want to say I always say like I feel like I was like something pretty to have, but not really to have fully. Like I was good for the moment, but not good for the long run. It's the best way I could explain it. And I feel like I definitely did internalize that a lot, and it definitely shaped the way that I could receive love for a while. And it took a lot of deconstructing for me to even get to a place where I realized, I do deserve that person. I deserve a person who, actually wants a future with me and not just a moment with me. And something I also had to do in my life was just deconstruct like the values, not even the values, I won't say the relationships that I've seen in my like day to day life from growing up to now. And I just had to do a lot with just my family and just seeing the relationships they had with their partners. And I think one thing that sticks out to me a lot is the sacrificing, or I want to say the sacrificial nature of the relationships, if that makes sense. It was always like in my eyes, I always seen the woman give up so much more than the men ever have to give up. And I think I don't know like if it's because I do have a strong connection with my feminine side because I was surrounded by so many women in my life. I was surrounded by a strong woman at that. Like two strong sisters, my mom a strong woman. And I think I always just resonate with the feminine energy just a little bit more than I did with the masculine energy in my life. And I think that also shaped the way I showed up in relationships too, because I can be that more, I want to say, nurturing person in a relationship, and the more loving and caring, I guess, if you will. But even beyond that, I feel like I would also sacrifice myself or sacrifice my needs a lot more to meet what that person needed or be the person that I feel like they needed, or even just having them weigh on me more than I was weighing on them. So always was an imbalance in my relationships in that sense. Like I never fully, I feel like I got the ability to like, what's the word I'm looking for? Let me pause. Okay, I found it. I just never feel like I could rely on someone else really fully, at least the way that I know they could rely on me. And that just truly is just from my childhood. Like I feel like I seen in relationship with my mom, I just feel like I seen her pour and pour into a person who wasn't able to really pour back into her. And I just feel like it just keeps like here, let me read what I wrote down because it speaks to this a lot. The love and what it really means to me. Love for me is something I see through a different lens. I'm a gay, black, and kind of gender fluid, androgynous man, I guess. I feel like the best way to describe myself is an experience, and it's really hard to put myself in a box. And that was me trying to do it in some sort of way. But back to the plot. I've always yearned for love, more specifically the romantic kind. Overall, I have a loving family that I can depend, and I know they would do anything for me. But it still doesn't feel like the place it still doesn't feel like what I'm looking for when it comes to, having a life partner, of course, because, they're my family. So, their love is different than that of a partner. And I guess, no need to explain further. But yeah. I truly had to deconstruct so much of what I saw in my own personal life to figure out what a true equal is in love. Because in my opinion, I was never really surrounded with good examples of an equal give and take kind of love. I always saw the struggles the way one will always give more, and in my eyes, I started to believe that love was sacrificial. That love meant always giving more than what you had to give. That love was endless, and you never gave up on a person, even if it meant your own undoing. It was strange because for me as a person, this didn't just bleed into romance, but also friendships. it showed its face a bit as people pleasing and almost adapting to who I thought people wanted me to be or what made them the most comfortable. But in the same breath, I feel like I had moments where I truly let myself be free and be authentically me. But as someone who can't quite fit in any of these boxes as just a gay man, femme or mask, or, whatever else society has thrown out there, I felt like I had to shrink and make myself smaller, almost in the hopes of finding someone to love me. I guess I felt I would be more digestible and love would become more accessible to me. Also, excuse me if I'm contradicting myself, but there's just a lot in my mind, so I'm just trying to make sure that I don't leave any boxes unchecked. Now that I've had a few instances where I felt, love, like truly from my authentic self, but I think every time when those situations didn't work out, I would go back and kind of shrink again, because that had to mean something was wrong with me, right? That had to mean that what I told myself in the past was true, that, maybe it's because I'm not masculine enough, not feminine enough, or because I'm not standing in these boxes that makes, I guess, myself more, I want to say, digestible to the mass. I don't know. I guess it's like more appealing to the crowd, or whatever you want to call it. But then also had the realization, I think as of now, just realizing, or maybe it just wasn't the right fit because it wasn't the right fit. But that's kind of how overthinking, at least for me, works for me. I always think the worst. There is a more to all of this. Through everything I have seen and experienced, I truly started to realize that the love I'm looking for truly is me. As corny and cheesy as that sounds, but I am the greatest love of my life. And I am in a place of solitude right now, and everything in me wanted so bad to fill the void with someone, something, some kind of substance. Because that's what I used to do in the past. Whenever I felt this loneliness or feeling this void that I feel like only a person could feel, you fill it with something, or you go out to what you used to give you that comfort. But then I realized that I'm just continuing the cycle by doing that. So I guess if this resonates with you, I just urge you to show yourself love today. It can be the smallest thing as making yourself a healthy breakfast and just change your perspective. Oh, I did this because, I love myself. And it seems really small, but I feel like it just helps build a closer relationship with yourself. And you start to view the things that you're doing for yourself as active love, active devotion to yourself. And I feel like you start to feel a little bit more fulfilled in life, and a little bit more, like, I feel like kind of fills that place that you're trying to fill with something else, with the realization that you are what you're needing. You can give yourself everything that you need. At the end of the day, a person won't be able to give you all the things that you need. It just is what it is. All you have is yourself at the end of the world. Deep. All you have is yourself at the end of the day. So the only way to, okay, I think I came up with this. So all you have is yourself at the end of the day. So it's like, you come into this world alone, technically, and you leave the world alone. So it's just like, I feel like it just makes no sense to me in my personal mind to, spend so much time and energy on trying to chase after something or someone when you can just be chasing after yourself and just attract those things to you. Because I feel like another cheesy saying, but also very true, the love and all that stuff that you want in life will come to you the more, I feel like, secure and comfortable you are with yourself, because it doesn't feel like, I don't know, I feel like chasing just, I don't know, because I am a spiritual baddie, y'all. I truly do feel like chasing things also keeps them away from you. And that's not to say that I think there's anything wrong with wanting love. I still want love. Like, I still want that relationship. But I'm just not so actively trying to go forward anymore. I'm really trying to just focus inward and really focus on what's going to make me happy, what's going to make me feel fulfilled, because a person's not going to make me feel fulfilled, It is going to be a nice addition to my life, and that's what they should be to me. They should be an addition, not a completion, I guess is the best way to explain it. That's my dog, if y'all hear that. But I just feel like, Cash, so, can you stop? Give me this toy. Give me a toy for a second. I feel like the best and most healthy relationships do come to you when you're living in your own fulfillment, and when you come to a person as a whole person versus someone who's looking for someone to fill that void. So yeah, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. But love you guys. Bye.